First off, I want to apologize. I am wearing a white t-shirt with a V-neck. It's really hot outside today and I want it to be comfortable so it doesn't look professional. I do want to apologize for that. Some RV manufacturers and some RV dealerships across the United States and Canada are not going to be happy with me. And the reason why is I'm doing my top 5 worst single axle travel trailers, and that's according to me. I'm not representing anybody else. This is my own personal list based on all the research I have done over the last 2.5 months, ever since 2026's were released. So welcome to HB RV Lifestyle, the podcast. I'm the host, the Honey Badger, aka John Livingston, here to give it to you straight and transparent about the RV business, as well as some other things. Now, to get this launched out, let's start with number 5, which is the Crossroads Zinger. Now, Crossroads, back when I was selling it, was actually a pretty decent product. And over the years, as they've tried to compete with the Coleman 17B price point, the quality on their single axle travel trailers has suffered, specifically with the Zinger. And unfortunately, you're going to feel it when you actually walk inside the trailer. So if you physically go walk into a Zinger travel trailer, especially if they're copying the 17B Coleman floor plan, you're going to notice that there's some quality issues with it. But it is also, got to give a little bit of leniency here, it is a price point unit. It's not like going to set the world on fire at $12,995 or $13,995, etc. Number 4, I'm going to go Coachman Catalina. For whatever reason, I don't understand it. It's just gotten to the point where every year it seems to get to be a weaker product. Okay. Now, I'm not talking about the dual axle travel trailers. The dual axle stuff is actually really pretty good. Okay. I'm not going to say it's setting the world on fire, the best ever, but a lot of the dual axle travel trailers that Coachman Catalina comes up with are actually really good product, actually a decent quality unit, good price point, etc. But again, the same thing with Zinger. Over the years, as the Coleman 17B has dominated the industry, and that price point of $11,995, $12,995, $13,995 has been the predominant selling travel trailer across the United States mainly, it just seems the quality of the Coachman Catalina single axle lineup has just gotten worse and worse and worse as they tried to lessen the price on the unit. Which rolls me into number 3, which is its counterpart, the Forest River Aurora. Now, they used to be completely identical, but ever since it really has been predominantly a Blue Compass product, Aurora has gotten, again, one of those situations where you're starting to cheapen the product to compete with your big brother Camping World. So Forest River Aurora, which again, technically, Coachman, Catalina, and Aurora are almost the identical product. But Forest River Aurora, I got to give it a step above that. It's just, I don't know how to put it. Just, I shake my head. Like, really? Are you sure about that? You sure about that? Oh, God. Okay, that rolls me into number 2. Number 2, I got to go Keystone, Springdale, and Hideout. Now, if you notice, I actually flip-flopped them from 2025. Springdale, Hideout in the single axle lineup. I'm not talking about dual axle again. Just like Coachman Catalina, I'm not talking about the dual axle setup. I'm talking about single axle travel trailers. Again, common theme in this. This is all the really cheap travel trailers. And it just seems like this year's predominant worst travel trailers in single axle are all the price point leaders. I mean, it's gotten pathetic, unfortunately. And, it's just one of those things that you have to shake your head and go, why are we even building that unit? I understand people want to move volume. Look, I really do. And when I get to my last one, you're really going to, you probably already guessed who the last one is. But when we're talking about products that are price point leaders, we have to be better as dealerships at explaining what these units are. I'm seeing too many stories out there, and this is a message to the dealerships. I'm seeing too many stories out there of customers that were told by a salesperson or a dealer. I've seen behind the scenes where someone has videoed an RV salesman telling a customer that they can live comfortably in an 1800 BH Mini Springdale and that it's perfectly built to be lived in. Really? So, because you're trying to compete with a Coleman or an Aurora or a Zinger or any of these other price leaders, maybe a Jayco or a StarCraft, of course, Jayco and StarCraft are more money. So obviously they're going to be a little bit better quality as far as the single axles. But you're going to tell people that? That's ridiculous. And that brings me to number one. And number one is probably, to me, the worst trailer ever built in the history of the RV industry, and that's the Coleman lineup. Now, Coleman is also Aspen Trail and Colorado. So don't think it's just Coleman. So Coleman, Aspen Trail, and Colorado are all the same 3 travel trailers with different stickers on them, identically built. It is the worst travel trailer single axle on the market. Now, where I want to give Coleman credit is there are some dual axle stuff that Coleman does through Dutchman, through Keystone, that's actually pretty good. I'm not going to say best quality ever, but they do have some dual axle travel trailers that are pretty good. But I'm talking about the Coleman 13D, 13B, 17B, 17D, yo mama, yo daddy, whatever. Horrible quality. And they sell a bunch of them. They sell 10,000 of them a year. Now, the downside to the Coleman 17B is it has caused this race to the bottom who can build the cheapest trailer. But by the time a lot of these I'm not saying every Camping World store, because each Camping World store is run individually by their GM and sales manager. Okay, but let's be clear about this. When you walk into a Camping World store to buy a Coleman 17B at $12,995, you're not paying $12,995. You're paying whatever, $1,500 prep or get ready. You're paying $2,000 or $2,400 freight or shipping charge. You're never paying $12,995. And anybody who says differently in the comments section is a salesperson or a representative of Coleman or Camping World. I've been there. I used to work for a Camping World, guys. I know the game in the RV industry. And it's not just Camping World that does that. There's a lot of East Coast dealers that charge big $4,000 or $5,000 fees on top of their low pricing because that's their profit margin. If they didn't charge those fees, they would lose money every single time they sold a travel trailer. So it's like this race to the bottom. Now, if you want to see my video that I did that gives you the top 5 worst single axle travel trailers for year model 2025, I'm going to link it in the description box below. And if I get an opportunity, if you don't see it right now, if I get the opportunity to finally get my laptop fired up, it'll be right there in that. Just click on that thing right there. Okay. So until next time, remember, RV stands for toolkit and sense of humor.